Okay, this is education, and we are beginning with the statistics that we have on the board. IA there is innovative assessment, TC is transformative curriculum, PL is pedagogical leadership, TEL is of course technology enhanced learning, PL in our case is personal learning philosophy. One of us has done that. As you can see, personal learning philosophy is scoring very low because only one of us has done that. Technology enhanced learning, like everybody else has reported, has issues. Pedagogical leadership, a number of us have done that. There are actually cases. Transformative curriculum, it's ranking high at 3. And innovative assessment is also at 3. So now you discover that we are above average. If we drew some kind of demarcation, we are actually falling between 2 and 4, which is a very good report for Bell. So now let me debunk the statistics. Now we have these are the modules we consider, of course, the ones that I've just mentioned. Under innovative assessment, the report is that students are happy with the innovative assessments we've given out. The group assessments have been done in large classes. There is someone who did something that would be fairly extraordinary, actually requested the faculty to allow her to do semester exams differently. And it actually faced a lot of, there are so many questions on that during faculty board meetings. But the report from the students was that it was a wonderful way of testing at the end of the semester. So this one did not go by the timetable. So when the exam came up, there was no exam to be given. That had already been given out. It's a very good experience. One of our colleagues injected IA into curriculum review process, which was really good of her. Under transformative curriculum, we've got a majority of us had actually aligned their course outlines. All those of us that have been trained. And they have also helped colleagues to do alignments of their course outlines. And what is also coming out very clear is that after the training on session planning and designing, a good number of people have reflected on their classes, conceptualized their classes before actually teaching, and the results have been transformative. Pedagogical leadership, some people are reporting staff relations improvements. That would be the issue of collegiality. I'm very sure about the second point there. This is in Egerton University. Before the Bedell training, we didn't have these seminars for postgraduate students. So we used to simply wait for them at the examination level, then we would trash their documents and throw them out. Now, after the Bedell training, our colleagues actually led a movement that ended up with seminars for postgraduate students. We examine our students informally so that by the time they come for real defenses, their documents are much improved, and the results have been wonderful. Now, there is this issue of dialogues on staff mentorship. There is a feeling across that some professors are not so much willing to mentor junior staff. And that is the point. Some people are holding on to whatever they have. They won't even give you their yellow notes. And so there's a lot of talk around that. And we are making a recommendation at the end of this presentation here. On technology enhanced learning, there is baby steps. The issues that are coming out very clearly are issues to do with the internet and the other infrastructures and a lot of other things. But some of our colleagues have recorded their lectures. Some of our colleagues have used YouTube videos. We are feeling that e-portfolios and reflective logs have not been adequately accomplished. And that is the reason technology enhanced learning was ranking low. Someone in Ghana who was in a group has actually made his students to write their personal learning philosophies. I think it's a great idea. Now, conclusions and recommendations. We were thinking that if BEDOL could have involved more of these professors who are refusing to move to see the importance of leadership, mentorship. If they ended up in these BEDOL trainings and they actually attended Paul Effer's lectures, I think they are definitely going to change their perceptions about mentorship, mentoring the junior staff. And then we're also feeling that there are these very key people in the universities, the ICT staff. If they could also be brought in during trainings, so that when we go out there to back to the university, they see it as if it's also part of their mission and vision to support us to disseminate the BEDOL gospel. Our challenges are just like everyone else's challenges in this case, and I'm very thankful for the presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Education team, someone has their hand up here.
Yeah, thank you very much. I actually want to share my own experience with regard to mentorship. It became very interesting when you talk about PEDA, involving professors training for mentorship. In my university, in recent time, reluctance from some of us locally mentors of their own. The reason has always been that they are not part of the process. Like, they are not part of the process. So that you recruit somebody for me without my knowledge, without my input, now you're telling me I should mentor that person. And it's a serious one. I don't know how it is in other countries. In my university, sometimes, but changes have come with the new vice chancellor. He allows departments to do their selections. Even if you have a candidate, you take it to the department, not like before it is top bottom. When I took over as the dean of our faculty, to break from the old order, what I did was to see that younger, lecturers take over the mantle of the head of the department, with the assistance of Professor Matai. He was an HOD, but I have to use him. He is one of my foot soldiers for this mentorship thing. We now have a challenge there. The challenge now is that I've abandoned the old professors. Now pick the young ones. We're still battling that one. And I think that's helped me and helped with departments. So I think there is actually the need for us, within us, without even this training, to go and see how we can break away from the old model. We are doing that gradually in my place. And that is like 13 young senior lecturers and departments. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it was just a sharing.
Yes.
I'd like to thank the group that has presented. I just wanted to say something on the challenges Many of these challenges show that there is need of systemic change within our institutions, universities. And this can be possible only if there is buy-in of the stakeholders, from the management members, the deans, the heads of department, and other colleagues. And so I think Pedal has to think about this. Otherwise, we shall be islands within our universities if we don't bring on board all the stakeholders. So I think this is very key to rework some policies that can enable people to. But again, also, there is a way to see what we are doing differently from the others, so that they get interest to join. So there's a lot we can do.
Thank you. I guess we need to build our communities of practice over and over again.
We are still live at the Sarova White Sand Beach Hotel in Mombasa, Kenya, and we are still gathering the feedback from our distinguished participants throughout their pedal training here. And we are privileged to have Dr. Cyrus Sebugeni, and he is from the Higher Education Council for Uganda. So you're welcome to AUTV, Doc.
Thank you.
Great. So you were here yesterday. I think I chaired a panel that you were on.
Yes.
What are the key take-homes for you?
I think the key take-home, especially from yesterday's discussion, is how to link up teaching together with research. I think that came out very, very strongly, that when people are doing research, it's not just for the sake of doing research, not for their personal gain of being promoted, but this research should be linked with their teaching practice. The research should inform the teaching. That's what we got from yesterday's session.
So how relevant is pedagogical leadership in such a time like this in our universities?
Well, I think it's very, very important for a reason that our stakeholders, as we said yesterday, the students have complained that whereas you have professors, you have teachers, university lecturers who may be competent in their subject matters, they do lack the skill of transmitting what they know to students. So when the biggest stakeholders are speaking, then you have to take note. So they are saying, yes, whereas people have the subject matter, let them be trained, let them be coached on how to transmit that to the student. I think that's where the relevance of the pedagogical leadership is becoming very, very key. But let us also get to know that our universities in Africa are largely teaching institutions. The bulk of it is actually teaching. So we need to give weight to the largest weight. We give research the smallest portion, but we give it more weight. And I think there we are not balanced. Let us give the weight where the weight is due.
So we must commend PASGR for this intervention. And you coming from the Council of Higher Education in Uganda, how can you assist this process in terms of cascading this training to make sure we bring a lot of academics on board to get some of these wonderful content that we are sharing here?
Let me say like this, that the universities in Uganda have already done it. When the meetings are being held in Kenya, they have tried to invite others who are not part of PASGR to be part of them. And there was a meeting this year, I think, in Entebbe, where all other universities who are not necessarily members were invited. So already our universities, and I'm very grateful to them, they're already taking the lead. And once they convene these meetings, National Council is there to support them.
So what is the future of higher education for you? What do you see in African higher education? What is our future?
I think the future is that, well, right now higher education is challenged in many areas. And one of the critical areas is finance. But what I see is that higher education is becoming a little more relevant. Lower levels of education have been more relevant to the community. They have been attracting more funding, especially in our countries like Kenya. But I see in the future that higher education is going to take the lead. The governments are going to inject in money. The private sector, which has so much interest, are going to inject in money. So that's where I see that higher education is going to attract attention from different stakeholders for funding. But also I see that the university players, the higher education players, are required now to be more accountable. So it's not just teaching people for the sake of teaching, for the sake of getting a degree, but more accountable. Are your graduates relevant? That's I see accountability. I see it as the direction where we are heading to.
Great. Were you part of any of the models this morning? Any of the cohorts?
I was, but not really seriously, more as an observer. Yes, yeah.
So I believe you picked a little, any aha moment for you?
I beg your pardon?
I believe that the one you joined, you picked something little.
Yes, the first presentation is especially giving a clarity between the learning objectives and learning outcome that appealed to me, but I was not so much involved in the second session.
Thank you very much, Doc. So we will still follow up and find out what the Ugandan Council for Higher Education is doing to advance PEDAL and higher education in Africa in general. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Great.